It's Miss Melinda here, your spiritual worker from MissMelinda.com and MissMelinda's MetaphysicalServices.com. I'm here today. I'm going to be joined by Erin, who is my amazing left-hand lady, and I'm going to be performing a live ancestral message for her. I'm going to be providing a live reading for Erin, channeling messages from her ancestors. This is my Samhain season reading that is provided once a year during the month of November. Samhain is the Irish word for November, and traditionally this holiday has been celebrated and practiced throughout the entire month of November rather than just on Halloween, like some people previously may have. Sorry, I'm distracted by something in my settings. A lot of people have kind of gotten into the habit that Samhain is just Halloween, but traditionally it's the entire month of November. And so that's just a little bit of background information. If you didn't see our live Q&A, Erin and I did a live Q&A together on Wednesday, and we talked all about ancestral messages and mediumship and the Samhain season readings. And today we're going to be doing a live reading. I'm going to be doing Erin's ancestral reading, her Samhain season reading, using tarot cards and also using my other intuitive gifts and psychic gifts, and tuning into the messages that are available for Erin and the messages that she most needs at this time, the messages that are most beneficial for her at this time. So this is a chance to see a demonstration of this reading, but honestly, it's not just a demonstration. It's going to be an actual reading, and learn more about how my readings are, like what happens in my readings and what happens in a Samhain season reading, and ask some questions too. We should have time for questions as well. I'm just wondering, I'm not seeing Erin here, so I'm hoping that she will be joining soon. Let's see. I wish I had another form of time. Here is Erin, and she is requesting to join. Hello. Hello, my lovely. Nice to see you here. And just once again, while I'm waiting for Erin to join, hi, Erin.
Hi.
Let me go ahead and adjust the camera now that you're here. So right before you joined, I was just about to say that for those of you who haven't been here before or who maybe aren't familiar with me, my name is Miss Melinda. I am a spiritual consultant. I'm a psychic. I'm a tarot reader. I'm a professional priestess. I'm a spellcaster. I do a variety of things all within those realms. And you can find me at MissMelinda.com. And you can also find me at MissMelinda's MetaphysicalServices.com. And MissMelinda's MetaphysicalServices.com is where my Samhain season readings live, my ancestor readings. And they are available until November 27th. Just fiddling with this camera set up a little bit. I don't really want to have to be staring too far up at the camera while I'm performing a reading. Hi, Erin. How are you? How's your day going?
Great. It's good.
Can you hear me okay? Everything good on your end?
I can hear you great.
And if anyone is having trouble hearing us or seeing us or anything like that, please put it in the comments. But also in the comments, please let us know if you have questions about anything that we talk about or anything that transpires today. I do think that we will have time to answer questions. And just to repeat myself a little bit, because we did talk about this in our Q&A on Wednesday, But just in case you weren't there or you're not familiar, Erin is my left-hand lady. She is my team member. She is my coworker. She is awesome. And she has been working with me really closely for about 3 years now. Do you think it's been more than 3 years, Erin?
It feels like it's been more than 3 years. When you said that the other day, I'm like, that can't be right. It feels like it's been a really long time.
We have
Um,
we've both gone through a lot. The last
yeah,
3 years has been a lot,
yeah,
right? But yeah, we've been,
absolutely.
I think it's like 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, my setup is a little tenuous. Yeah, I think we've been working together for about 3.5 years. And like I was saying the other day, Erin has been through mentorship programs with me, and she has been through a lot of coaching with me. And we've studied the tarot. I spent a lot of time doing really in-depth teaching of the tarot with Erin. We've spent a fair amount of time on shadow work, just kind
Mm.
of as needed. And we have spent a lot of time just um, practicing metaphysics together. I've spent a lot of time teaching Erin about candle magic, and we've pretty much covered all things in between. So Erin and I work together now really, really closely. And if you ever are a member or a client or whatever capacity that you may be interacting with me, if I ever say, I will have my teammate or my assistant help you with that. It's Erin. This is the
That's me.
face. It is Erin who helps me with things, and so sometimes Erin does client care as well. So she could be someone that you interact with periodically. Got tarot cards falling out already. So let's get to what we're going to be doing today. We are doing a live ancestor reading for Erin. This is my Samhain season reading done only during the month of November every year. So these readings are going to be closing soon, and then they won't be open again until 2024, November of 2024. And because we're doing this live, there are a couple of things that will be a little bit different, because when you book one of these readings with me, they are delivered remotely, meaning they're delivered via voice report, so a voice recording. They're delivered with pictures of the cards and with the voice reports. But so I need to do a couple of things today that I always do during live readings. So we're going to start with that. And on that note, Erin, let's close our eyes. Let's center ourselves. If you can uncross your legs and uncross your arms, if that's possible for you, and if it feels comfortable, if you can place both feet on the floor, place your palms, your hands palms up on your lap. Please take a couple of deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Don't be afraid to really allow yourself to exhale loudly, to allow yourself to release tensions and stresses. Here in this moment, we are centered in our bodies. We are setting aside the things that fill up and take space and take energy from us in our practical, everyday, analytical minds. Sometimes I even like to see that part of my mind kind of tucking itself into bed and taking a nap. Just tuck that part of your mind into a back corner of your head. And instead, feel yourself very present in the center of your body. I like to sometimes visualize a pillar of light just running through my crown chakra, through my root, or at least just running through the center of my body, and really feel yourself being pulled, being steadied, being present in that center. Continue to take a couple of deep breaths, continuing to allow stresses and anxieties to leave your body. And what I'd like you to do, Erin, is gently drop your consciousness to your heart center. And in this place of heart-centered awareness, we can be open to the kinds of messages, the kinds of energies, the kinds of logic that only our heart can perceive. We don't need to do too much analysis. We don't need too much attachment to the messages and the information that comes through today. We just need it to come with clarity, and we need it to wash over us, and we need to understand it, receive it, feel it from a place of heart-centered awareness. And so for today, I ask that the ancestors that are most present with Erin at this time, the ancestor or the ancestors who have the message that Erin most needs at this time, come through to her. And I ask that the information comes through in a way that is clear to me, and in a way that is clear to Erin. And of course, we're looking for benevolent ancestors. We're looking for those benevolent ancestors that are walking with Erin currently, those benevolent ancestors or that benevolent ancestor that is concerned with Erin's personal growth, with her spiritual evolution, her spiritual development. And we're open to what comes through. And so for this reading, I pull 6 cards, and I'm going to go ahead and pull all 6 cards and do the full reading. Sometimes extra cards come out, and so that's fine. I'll read the extra cards as well. And for this reading, I am picking up on information from the cards, as well as information from other areas, information from my intuition, information from my psychic abilities. And so I've already pulled 3 cards, or 6 cards actually. The first card is going to be the 9 of Wands. The second card is the Hermit card. The third card is the 5 of Pentacles. This is a card that has been plaguing me recently, plaguing me. It is showing up in everybody's readings and in my readings, and just a constant message. So I know that it's important. It's important for everybody. So we'll talk about it a little bit more. That's something, a side note, when you are somebody who is an avid reader and you have a card that comes up repeatedly for other people as well as yourself, then it's really a message for the collective. So this 5 of Pentacles is a message for the collective as well as a message for you, Erin. Ace of Swords. Love my aces. The Priestess, High Priestess. And the World card. What a beautiful note to end on. So no extra cards needed here because we're tidying up this reading really nicely. So just starting out from the beginning, a general overall theme that I'm seeing is a reconnection with yourself, a reuniting, reintegration with aspects of yourself that maybe haven't been as present in recent times or recent years. Parts of yourself that need more attention, more love, more voice, more expression, coming back to you in a very fulfilling, very rewarding way. I see this partially coming from your spiritual growth, your spiritual path, your spiritual development. But I see it also being something that is very much aligned for you. And when I say aligned, what I mean by that is that the energy surrounding you, the energy surrounding your life is supporting this kind of growth. And so the growth is going to happen regardless of the work that you do or don't put in. But if you take initiative and do some more work, then it's going to happen in an even better, bigger, more beneficial way. I may be reaching for some cough drops. I didn't mention this the other day, but last week I had COVID and it hit me really hard. I was really, really sick. And I'm still getting over it. I'm feeling great, but I'm still getting over it. So just FYI, all of this noise is me getting a cough drop to prevent further trouble with my voice. So back to general overall themes that I'm seeing in these cards. And it's not really that kind of reading. So sometimes there will be a big overall theme, and then that's kind of the starting message. And I think I've already covered the biggest theme here. So stepping back to the Nine of Wands and the Hermit card, and I'm going to go ahead and read those two together. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with my readings and maybe haven't had a reading from me before, I do like to tell people that the way that I read the cards looks a little bit different than the way that other people might read the cards. I don't use a set spread. I use a really intuitive flow. When I do use a set number of cards or a set spread, it's a spread that I have come up with for myself, something that I have learned that works well for me, or a pattern that I have learned over time. And so that's that may be helpful for you to understand what I'm doing here. In these readings, I read 3 sets of 2 cards together, but they don't indicate a specific placement or a specific space in the reading. It's a very intuitive flow. And so moving back into this reading, starting at the beginning with the 9 of Rods and the Hermit card, I am certainly seeing you in a position, Erin, where you are due to leave a particular cycle behind. Nines are endings. The 9 of Rods is an ending. What I like about it, and if I close my eyes, you guys, it's because it helps me get the messages more clearly, okay? So what I like about the 9 of Rods is that it's an intentional ending. And when we're talking about an intentional ending, we are talking about being equipped to move forward, having all of the tools needed to move forward, having the skills, having the strength, having the intention and the vision. So this is not an ending that is going to be forced on you. Perhaps at one time this could have been an ending that was going to be forced on you, but because of the way that things have shifted in your life, this is an ending that you are able to take with more intention, and where you are able to have more agency and where you are able to have more initiative. And I think you're finding yourself now in a position where you're more confident about your strengths and your skills and your abilities and your adaptability, your ability to change and your ability to adjust and adapt to change. And so I just want to pause here for a minute and say that not all of this information is coming from me. If I'm not making this clear, this is an ancestral message that is coming through. Part of what's coming through is coming from an ancestor. Part of what's coming through is coming from the cards. Part of what's coming through is coming from my intuition and psychic ability. So it is a combination. And so with this Hermit card, what I'm seeing is that you're just missing one little tiny piece of the puzzle. And I see a key. I see a vision of a key. And so we're going to bring in a deity that you work with, even though that isn't something that always comes through in an ancestor reading. And you know who it is. And I'm seeing a crossroad entity. And she says you're just missing, you just need to turn the key one more notch. Just turn the key one more notch, and turning that key one more notch. What you're going to unlock is inside of you. It doesn't need to come from anybody else at this time. You're not really in need of a ton of outside support, which may sound strange, but it's like you've been getting that. You've been receiving that. I'm seeing you being fortified. I'm seeing the foundations of your soul, the foundations of you being strengthened and centered and ready. Like you're already prepared, but now there's something inside of you that needs to be just like slightly unlocked. That door needs to be opened a little bit further so that you can continue with this cycle of change, continue with this, what the universe really wants you to do right now, and what the astrology surrounding your life and you really wants you to do right now, which is leaving some things behind and starting new. And I know we've already started to leave, to let go of some things, but please be sure that you are spending adequate time inside of yourself. So typically when I'm getting this kind of a message, there is an intuition, an inkling, a thought, a feeling that has been kind of nagging you, and maybe you haven't had the right time, or maybe you haven't had the right space, or maybe you haven't felt like you're in the right mindset to really attend to it. And the Hermit card is saying, please attend to it now. And that's going, because the rest of the answer that you need, the rest of the message that you need, the rest of the strength that you need, the rest of the guidance that you need is all going to come from you now. And it's already, everything that is going to come from other people has already come to you from other people. So the last piece is coming from you. And because this is your ancestors speaking in this reading, I am seeing and feeling they also want me to make sure to tell you that they're helping you with this energetically. They're helping you to receive this, what you need to receive from yourself. And it's some kind of acknowledgement of your feelings, and it's some kind of expression of your feelings. And it's really going to help you take the action that is needed. And they're saying, the inner work is done, basically. The inner work is done, and just to repeat myself one more time, the outer support is there. The fortification, the strengthening has been done. And now it's, I lost it. What was I just saying? Now it's now I lost the thread, but it's internal now. And so the ancestors are really going to help you to tune into that part of yourself that is needed to continue moving forward. And so just taking a step back from that, the kind of ancestor that I'm feeling for you, Erin, and now I'm picking up on this, I'm tuning into what I'm picking up on energetically. So the kind of ancestor that I'm feeling for you, Erin, is old. This is not somebody who has been deceased for a long time. I mean, this is not somebody who was deceased recently. This is someone who is going back many, many years, like could be thousands of years. Like this is an old ancestor. And it has a feminine energy. And it is an ancestor who would be associated with, in some way, the crossroads goddess that has already come up in this reading. And so I just want to make a side note that this is something that sometimes happens in readings as well. If I'm reading for an ancestral message, for example, like I am now, and a deity or a spirit or an entity comes through with a message, it's because your ancestor is connected to that deity or that spirit, or was. So I'm seeing and feeling this ancestor being somebody who was connected once upon a time to the same deity that you work with so closely. And would you like to just go ahead and name this deity, Erin?
Sure, it's Hecate or Hecate,
Yeah,
depending on.
Hecate. That's my preference. We can say anyone can say it however they want. That's just my preference. Um, yes, Hecate. So this is an ancestor going really far back for you. And when we have these kinds of ancestors that come through, we don't really, it doesn't benefit us. It doesn't give us anything more useful if we try to focus on what is their personality like, or what was their life like. That doesn't matter anymore, because this is an ancient spirit. And I don't always get this kind of well, I'm just going to say new agey because I can't think of a better word right now. I don't always get this new agey, but because this message is coming through to me so clearly, I'm going to go ahead and trust the message, and I'm going to say it. I'm picking up on the energy of a priestess. I'm picking up on the energy of a priestess of Hecate. And I think that this is in your lineage. I think that this is in your heritage. And I think that you are living in this truth, and you are living in her tradition. And I know that it is hard for us sometimes to feel like we are part of a tradition and part of a heritage, because we've lost so much of our history. Everybody, all of us, all people, some of us more than others, obviously. Let's acknowledge our white privilege, okay? But also, we've all lost so much of our ancestry, so much of our lineage. And this is just like washing over me in such an overwhelmingly emotional way right now. And I just want to say that one of the reasons that she's coming through is to let you know that you haven't actually lost it. You haven't actually lost it. It's there. It's living in your bones. It's living in your soul. And she is with you. She's with you, and she's leading you through this transition. And what better ancestor, what better guide to be leading you through a transition than one that is a priestess of Hecate. And I just want to say a side note that's just popping into my mind as well, which is that Hecate has had many incarnations herself. She has many faces. She's had many cultures. She's had many histories. And it's not important for us always to, maybe never, but not always, for us to focus on those details and try to rationalize it and try to analyze it and try to pinpoint it. So she's multifaceted. She's been many places in many different times, and that's how we accept her, as a mystery. We accept the mystery, and that's how we are accepting this message, and that's how we are accepting this ancestor. And so we don't need to know what culture, we don't need to know what history, we don't need to know what time period. Let that wash away. We're here from a place of heart-centered awareness to be open and receptive to the information that you need at this time, to the message and the healing, and whatever it is that you need at this time. Moving forward to the next two cards, we have the Five of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. I mentioned that this Five of Pentacles has been plaguing me and plaguing me. It's been in every reading. I cannot think of a time in the last 2 months that I have done a reading for myself or for anybody else when the Five of Pentacles has not come up. So let's spend just a little moment with the Five of Pentacles as its own thing. The Five of Pentacles represents somebody very much feeling like they are on the outside of life. What does that mean for us when we feel that we're on the outside of life? It means that we're questioning our own fate. It means that we're questioning our own place in life. It means that we're asking ourselves questions like, did I get off track? Am I out of alignment? Am I being punished? Why am I missing out on things that other people seem to have? Is it because I went astray? Is it because I made the wrong choices? Why don't I get to have the same kinds of experiences that other people get to have? And we're feeling that there is lack in our lives, and we feel that we're looking in on other people's lives from the outside, and we're saying, I am alone and I'll never have what they have. Well, let's dig into that a little bit. Everybody is exactly where they are supposed to be at right now. It is possible to get out of alignment. It is possible to get off your path, but even that is part of your path. Part of your path then is to figure out how to realign. Are you being punished for getting off of your path? No. Are you experiencing loss? Are you experiencing difficulties and challenges that other people might not experience? Yeah. Everybody has their own difficulties. Everybody has their own challenges. Some of us seem to have more than others, especially some of us spiritual people. And it's part of a bigger picture that we are supposed to be experiencing. But there's not any part of life that we can't have. Nobody is punishing us. Nobody is standing over us and wagging their finger at us and saying, you will be forever locked out of these things that other people have, or you're not allowed this. Other people are allowed this and you're not. This is something in our self-belief, in our worldview about the way that we fit into the world, and possibly sometimes about the messages that society are giving us. These are things that need to be dismantled. This is a place where we need shadow work when this Five of Pentacles keeps coming up. What we need is to remind ourselves that we are perfect just as we are. We're perfect in our imperfections. We're perfect with all of our baggage that needs to be healed. We're perfect with all of our challenges. We're perfect with all of our flaws. We're humans and we're supposed to be this way, and we're supposed to be experiencing these things. And furthermore, if there's something in life you want and you're feeling on the outside of it, you need to go ahead and bring your own chair to the table. You have free will. You have the ability to make it happen for yourself. Maybe it's not going to look the way that it looks for other people. Maybe you're not going to do it the same way. Maybe you can't do it the same way that other people do, but you can figure out how to get that missing puzzle piece, and you can make it happen in a way that is right for you and in a way that works for you. Okay, so now moving back into the ancestral message for Aaron specifically, because that Five of Pentacles message is for everybody right now. Looking at the Five of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords together, Aaron, you're going to have a lot of clarity in the near future about exactly what we were just talking about, exactly the Five of Pentacles message. So that's going to mean a lot of clarity about how to accomplish that sort of missing piece of fulfillment, perhaps, or more togetherness, how to fill in whatever gap you're feeling. Wherever it is that you're feeling that you're on the outside looking in, you're going to have a ton of clarity, inspiration, intuition about how to I'm hearing fill that void. It wouldn't be the choice of words I would prefer, but I'm hearing fill that void. And so you will know how in the near future. And it will be important for you. The Ace of Swords is very much about claircognizance. So it's about clear thinking. It's very much about those messages that just come in, and then you just know. So you will know. And what will be important for you is to notice the knowing. that is why the hermit is here too, because let's get centered. Let's get quiet so that we have the space to notice the knowing. And so your job will not only be to notice the knowing, but then to take the next step, which is don't ignore your intuition, don't ignore your inspiration, take action. And if you find that you can't take all of the action that is needed right away, that's okay. Try to at least take one baby step, one baby step. When the shamans go into trance and they communicate with the spirit world, or they have a dream, they have a healing dream or a message dream, when they come back into this physical plane, they bring something with them. They might make a piece of art or write a poem or have a physical ritual or create a physical representation of some sort. And so this is what they're saying to you. This is what your ancestor is saying to you. She's saying, um, bring something with you from your vision and make it into reality. And it doesn't have to be a practical step. It can be along the lines that we were just talking about. It can be a ritual step. It can be a ritual step. It can be an offering of art. It can be a visual representation. She's saying, make it real in your physical world. This is the way that you can practice making things real in your physical world. This is the step you can take to start practicing making your visions present and alive on the material plane. And if you can start this kind of ritual, this kind of practice, then it's going to allow you, it's going to teach you and allow you to change your relationship with manifestation so that you are then even more skilled at bringing things into reality, about making them real. So she is trying to teach you, she's giving us the guidance for a practice that you can start that's going to change your relationship with how and what you manifest in your life. Okay, does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Make it a ritual first. Just forget about the practical steps if it's not right now. Moving forward, the last two cards are the High Priestess and the World card. I mean, what a phenomenal combination. I'm just happy that this is even here. These are the Morgan Greer cards, by the way, in case you're wondering, in case anybody watching is wondering. So where's your wholeness going to come from? Where's your reintegration going to come from? Rhetorical question. It's going to come from your priestess self. It's going to come from your priestess self. Your ancestor is saying, it's time for you to step further into that now. It's time for you to acknowledge that aspect of yourself now. That's something that's an aspect of you, an archetype within you, a facet of yourself, a facet of your soul, as well as a facet of your ancestry that has been trying to come out more. And they want you to do this. They want you to do this. And so whatever it means for you, whatever way that works for you, whatever way makes sense to you, whatever way feels right to you. For any of you here, if you aren't familiar with my readings or my teaching, I always try the best that I can to come from a universalist perspective. What's most important is not that I tell you exactly how to do things. what's most important is that you do the things that work for you and that feel right for you. And so what we're really looking for here is the end goal. I'm not teaching you to follow any tradition or any specific practices. I'm helping you get to the end goal. And so this is true for you right now, Erin, in whatever way that's going to work the best for you to be more in tune with, more aligned with, and have more expression for this high priestess aspect of yourself is going to be beneficial. And so let's just backtrack a little bit, because if you're having trouble taking concrete action in that direction, start with that ritual. Start with a physical representation and an artistic offering, a creative endeavor that is bringing this from the other realms into the physical world. And that's going to get you rolling with the action when it's time for the action. I'm feeling all of this stagnant energy in the middle two chakras. What am I in the solar plexus chakra and the upper belly chakra, the two chakras above the root. I'm feeling stagnation there for you, and it kind of is kind of like making me want to go like this. Like they're telling me energetically, like this needs to be broken up. This needs to be flowing. So this is what I would like for you, and this is what they would like for you. Like this is another piece of the guidance. Let that energy flow, break up that stagnation, see what you can come up with for yourself in terms of what could be stuck there and how it can be freed. And even if it's just some simple energy exercises or some simple physical exercise like stretches or yoga, I think it needs to be deeper than just the physical exercise. This needs to be released, and this is one of the things that your ancestor is trying to help you with now. So this ancestor has a specialty in energy work, but it's not their only area of expertise. Okay, so working on those chakras is going to help you also release blockages that are going to help you, and that in turn is going to help you align more further with this high priestess archetype inside of you that really wants to and needs to come out in the near future. And that is where your fulfillment, that is where your integration, that is where more wholeness and more satisfaction is going to live for you. And feeling yourself at one with and at home with yourself and those aspects of yourself in a different way. It's going to be like a coming home to maybe a version of you that you were more at home with in previous years, in younger years, some time ago. It's going to be a coming home to her. And that is something that is really needed and really necessary in order to get you through this transitionary phase, to get you through, because remember we started with the 9 of Wands and we're talking about leaving the past behind, closing a phase of life and moving forward. This wholeness and reintegration that we're talking about is what is needed in order to do that. And so I'm going to bring this reading to a close now. I'm going to take one moment to see if there's anything else, any last details jumping out at me. There is, and it is that it's about the 5 of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords and the message that's coming through there. And that I'm just getting a clearer idea of that message. And it is that it's not only that you will receive like intuition and inspiration about overcoming this feeling of otherness or overcoming this feeling of being on the outside of certain aspects of life, it is also that you will have a sudden clarity that comes to you that will reveal something about your childhood, something about your shadow work that really helps you understand this feeling of otherness or feeling of being an outsider that has affected you, and that will now be able to be released. Let's get some of that Ace of Swords energy to flow through those chakras. That's what I would like. And this is what something your ancestor can help you with. So you can put some intention towards that.
Okay.
You can use your free will and you can ask for that help, because she does specialize in energy work, among other things. So that brings the ancestor reading to an end. Anybody who is still here or has just joined, you can go ahead and ask questions now. Any questions that you might have about ancestor readings, my Samhain season readings. Sometimes I see words in my mind and then it makes me want to pronounce them phonetically instead of how they're actually pronounced, and that is because I am dyslexic. So if you have questions about my Samhain season readings, if you have questions about readings, my readings in general, if you have questions about mediumship, if you have questions about the reading that I just performed live for Erin, please ask us those questions. Please ask me those questions, and Erin will help me traverse that. And if you weren't with us on Wednesday, we did a live Q&A where we talked all about mediumship and ancestral messages and Samhain season and Samhain season readings, and that is archived and it's in my feed, and you can go back and see it. And then you'll have a really well-rounded view of the reading that we just did today. Erin, do you have any questions about any of this?
I don't have any questions that are coming to mind right now. I mean, it was just so much stuff and it was so beautiful. I love the fact that the High Priestess card came out and it was like a priestess ancestor, so that I just thought was really beautiful. Yeah, the different ways that you get information to me is still fascinating. Yeah, that was just really beautiful and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I really appreciate reading for you, and I really appreciate you being willing to have your reading live. I
Yeah.
I know it's really intimate and it's really personal. So I really appreciate your vulnerability and your presence and your willingness to be here in the moment and your willingness to hold space with me. Okay, well, we're not getting questions from anybody that is here, and that's totally fine. And you don't have any more questions. So the last thing that I want to say is just to reiterate that I am Miss Melinda, and you can find me on missmelinda.com and missmelindasmetaphysicalservices.com. Thank you, River Owl Healing. And I am providing these Samhain season readings. They will look or be received slightly differently because they are not a live reading. They are a voice recorded reading, but everything in between that is exactly like what you saw today is exactly how I perform these readings. I only provide them during the month of November, and these readings are going to close on November 27th. And you can find them on missmelindasmetaphysicalservices.com. If you end up having any questions about these readings, you can leave that in the comments or you can DM me. If you have questions about booking or anything else, you can DM me. thank you so much to everybody that was here today. Um, Especially you, Erin. Big thanks to you,
Thank
and
you.
big thanks to everybody else. Anything we need to add? Have I forgotten anything?
No, no, you covered everything. All the
Okay.
things.
All right. Wonderful. Thanks again.
All right,
Much love
thank
to
you.
everybody. Many blessings. Have a
Thank you,
great
everyone.
day. Bye bye.
Bye.